Okay, so in the last video I was talking about, okay, the mission of Yaqeen. The mission of Yaqeen, okay, that Rasulullah ﷺ has been taken into the unseen, into the heavens, to the throne of Allah, okay, and has been sent back into the earth among human beings with the commands of Allah. Iqra bismi rabbik, okay, يا أيها المدثر قم فأنذر قول هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني. I call towards Allah, okay, me and whoever follows me. All right. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum, as soon as they entered Islam, they knew that Rasulullah's mission was their mission. They were a part of it, okay? And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas, that you were the best of nations, the best of and the best of generations, okay? And so this is general for the Ummah of Muhammad, but it is specific for the Sahaba. Okay, it is specific for the generation who was around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so the best of the best were with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's how we have Islam today. Okay, because it's not just that they would give their blood, but that they would give every day of their lives working for Deen. Okay, and I mentioned what Allah has offered, and the Sahaba took that offer. Okay, can I invite you to a bargain, a trade? Okay, you believe in Allah and His Messenger, and you strive with your wealth and with yourself. And that was in the mission of Deen, the mission of Nubuwah. Okay, because the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has one Nabi, okay, one prophet. Bani Israel is reported had tens of thousands, okay. We have one. The mission of Dawah, it comes to the Muslims, okay. Ana wa man ittabani, me and whoever follows me, is what Allah has said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, when we need to think about then those 23 years, the years of Mecca were the years of hardship and pain, okay, for Rasulullah and his companions. They entered Islam, and like many of today's converts, okay, when they entered Islam, they lost their spouses, they lost relations with mother and father, brother and sister. They sometimes were kicked out of their tribes went against them. And they were kicked out of economic life, okay? They were ostracized, and they were cut off and not allowed, and it later, towards the end, it was actually written. The Quraysh wrote a mandate that no one should do business with Muslims. And those were the years of starvation. And so the Sahaba and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam began thinking, okay, what can we do? And so a group went to Habasha, and they went to the king Najashi, and they explained their situation and their case. And Najashi agreed to take them in and to give them refuge. And there were two groups that went to Habasha. but that was not like a final solution for them. They later found the tribes of Yathrib and convinced them. And the people of Yathrib, it became Medina, okay? They loved Islam. They loved what they heard. And ya Allah, the, the oath that they made to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is that nothing will harm you while we are alive. Okay? They took in the Muhajirin. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his companions, they left everything and everyone to take refuge in Medina. And the Ansar of Medina took them in and gave them everything they had. And they swore to protect them, okay? But then they also became a part of the mission. And so Medina became the community of Dawah, the community of Islam, the community of the mission of Deen, okay? And I'm going to come back to this, okay? Now, these are the years of Dawah, the years of calling humanity to Islam, and the years of establishing the community that is ready to receive human beings into Islam. And that is required, okay? If it was required for Rasulullah and his companions, then it is also required today. And we are living here in the West. And in our community, we have the problem of quasi-Islam. Quasi-Islam must be driven out, and it has to be replaced with Islam. We have to have a community of Islam, and that means, number one, is the community of Dawah, the community that is ready to receive human beings into Islam. And unfortunately, even our imams, the imams in our masajid and the people working in our masajid, they have no idea what this even means. And many of the converts have been through this, and I've been explaining it for years. Okay? But we're talking about how do we break out of quasi-Islam. One of the shuyukh that I learned from early on, he explained something that, I wish we would understand. He explained the history of the Ummah in 4 eras. The first was the era of Dawah and establishment of the community. Okay? And that involved the jihad and the expansion and, setting up governance and so on and so forth. Public institutions, everything, okay? And then after that came the era of the ulama. And we need to understand that Islam demands from us that we step up to the obligation of the time and the obligation of the situation. And so that was the era of the A'imma, of the great Imams of Islam. And Allah placed them here for their mission, okay, which was to clarify, to collect all the knowledge of Deen and use, their incredible minds and their incredible memories to sort out the facts of Islam, clarify it, lay it out, write it up, and to teach it to their students. And then that's how we have the madhahib, the schools of Islam that have preserved the knowledge and understanding of Deen for us for that's 1,300 years, okay? The next era then because knowledge has been settled, the Islamic civilization is established. It's like a huge empire now. The next era was the era of Tasawwuf, in which Tasawwuf was widespread. Why? Because it's not the era of Dawah and Jihad anymore, and it's not the era of knowledge. It's the era of maintaining deen in the life of the everyday Muslim. Okay? But then there came the era of decline. And the last aspect of deen, and this important aspect of deen, is khidmah. Khidmah has been there from the beginning, which is serving humanity. But we have devolved to a state now in which we only make khidmah to our families. And we do not make khidmah to Muslim brother and Muslim sister. We do not make khidmah to our community. We're not making khidmah to the deen of Allah. So I've got to cut off now and come back.